Hey guys, DesolatorMagic here. Somehow something rather strange happened. I was completely over the flu as far as symptoms, fever, feeling like crap, wanting to sleep for 12 hours, all that, for about 24 hours, and now I have a full-blown flu again. Now, considering I came into contact with approximately 0 people, I don't think I caught a second illness, which presents an interesting scenario. This may be one of the very few times that a virus mutated, and now my T cells don't know how to create antibodies for it. Which means I'm patient 0 in a strain of modified flu, and now everybody, and I mean everybody in my area who was already sick, because it was pretty much everybody in the last week, they're going to catch it again because I went out in public today and was around like 100 people. Which really sucked because I was sick. So to everybody who lives in my direct area, you're welcome. Hey, after working retail and customer service, I hate the general public. They had it coming. Plus, they're the ones who got me sick. I'm just returning the favor with a mutated and upgraded version, and this one is worse. But hopefully with my amazing immune system, I'll be better by Monday or Tuesday. But in the meantime, I figured I'd make this little video because, I don't know, it's interesting. Everybody has been making little speculative comments about this, but nobody's really made like an in-depth video or forum post or anything about it, unless I missed it, which I'm sure somebody did. Where is the future of Magic going? And I don't mean, oh, what's the new digital platform or whatever, and oh, are they really going to expand into MMOs and, make a movie and all? No, I'm not talking about that, although all of that is potentially true. I mean, just literally with the paper card game, not even MTGO, don't care. Not even management-wise, strategy-wise, change the card frame again, who cares? All I care about is what are the next 4 sets going to look like? Now, considering the ramp up in power where everything wins on turn 4 unless it's stopped by another stupid net deck that's oppressively, control heavy, we're back to the same problem they had before, which resulted in a triple ban. All 3 of the decks that got banned were too damn powerful. They couldn't be beaten reasonably by anything else. Well, we're back in that boat times 10, okay? I mean, just look at the tournament results. Seriously, you go look at them. I barely skimmed them. Looked to me like people were seeming to indicate that it was the same couple decks that won the Star City one, and I think the same was true for Ireland or something. So we got 2 decks that can't be stopped. They're probably going to have to ban something, multiple somethings. So assuming they do that, let's just go back to Kaladesh and Aether Revolt. Well, even Eldritch Moon, I would say, they printed some unbelievably powerful stuff. I mean, this makes, M14 through M15 through like even Theros just look like nothing. Now, Khans was insane. I mean, but that's what happens when you give people 3 colors and make it doable. It was fast, reliable, doable. You would never get color screwed, and those decks could do everything. They had an answer for everything. Well, that's kind of right back where we are again today, and people did not like playing Standard during Khans. And now they're repeating the same problem. Nobody liked playing Standard according to their own survey right before Aether Revolt came out. Got around a 2.5 out of 10 rating by like a couple hundred people on average. So, yeah, not so great. So Aether Revolt, not even arguably, it did make Standard worse, okay? There's overpowered decks and now they include infinite combos. That's basically what it is. Insane levels of control mixed with insane win conditions and combos that can barely be stopped. Those 2 are not fun to play against by anybody with a brain, if you ask them. So, yeah, pretty grim. So they're obviously going to ban something within the next week or 2 or whatever. If they don't, they're crazy. They'll lose so many damn customers, it won't even be funny. But I suspect that Aether Revolt sold pretty well because of the power of the set, and usually 184 card sets sell like crap because even the single sellers will cut their order by 20 to 30% according to my distributor, because they know that they'll open too many of each individual card because there's more copies of every card being opened because it's a 184 card set. So it seems if you read between the lines of everything they've been doing lately, even for the last, year and a half, they want more money, and everybody suspects that it's Hasbro's doing. They made MTGO more expensive with that treasure chest garbage. They made it on average twice as expensive to play, triple or more if you're a draft player. It was just a blatant cash grab. It wasn't, oh, users have been asking for more randomization and more lottery, with more dynamic prizes and whatever. No user has been asking for like not winning boosters. That's just money. They wanted more money. It can't get much more blatant of a cash grab than that. Oh, and then, they brought back Full Art Lands. Okay, that sold it. At the same time, they decided, let's bring back Expeditions. Well, they're not really bringing it back. It was a little different the first time, but let's invent Expeditions. Everybody went nuts. They oversold BFZ and OGW and pocketed all this money. Looks good for Hasbro, doesn't it? Now with the Shadows block, Innistrad was one of the most popular planes of all time. I think that was the basis of it. They didn't put Expeditions in it, or I should say Masterpieces. So they didn't go too nuts with it, but I think that was their angle on that one. Pretty weak, didn't work that well. I think the sales were kind of mediocre. But then, oh my gosh, welcome to Kaladesh, where we've got Masterpieces. They've also been printing an awful lot of Planeswalkers lately. Then they just outright lied about it being a limited set for Eternal Masters and just reprinted it, or lied about it being reprinted, or both. I mean, that was just, hey, we need more money in our pockets. I mean, there was nothing to that. There is something to be said for, the boxes didn't get into the right hands. Investors just hoarded them and nobody got to draft it and nobody got it. Everybody ran out. Okay, I get that. But you base it on everything else Wizards has done lately, it probably was about the money first and foremost. So now Aether Revolt. I mean, you've got modern cards coming out your ears from this set, and it's a tiny set. I mean, Fatal Push, you gotta be kidding me. Disallow, I mean, I could go on. There are so many cards that are potential modern staples. Not really staples, but just modern playable. Although Fatal Push would be a modern staple. I would give them that. So that's one way to generate money from a set, double or triple the amount of demand. Make standard and modern and commander players want it. Hell, I heard Fatal Push might go in some Vintage and Legacy decks. That's pretty messed up. I think the game needed a one-cost removal with a little bit of a downside, though, so, I'm not saying they messed up there, or that it's wrong to try to shake up Modern. They absolutely should. But, like I said, first and foremost, it was probably about the money and the sales. So they made some of the Masterpieces pretty nuts. I mean, Pithing Needle, that explosive, whatever the hell. I mean, even Ensnaring Bridge, my god, that was like $100. So they kept those around to make standard cheaper, but to pocket the same amount of money or more at the end of the day by subsidizing standard with rich people, which that's frickin' brilliant. I mean, I absolutely support that. I think they should continue to make special collector's editions of cards that people actually want, but nobody needs. I think that is probably the best decision they've made as far as making more money without it being a detriment to anybody else. All I've heard to the contrary is people saying, but I want them and I can't afford them. Well, welcome to life, okay? I want a whole bunch of things I can't afford. It's like, I'd love a better car. I'd also love to get my medical problems looked at. Can't afford either. That's how life works. The main thing I've had a problem with is Aether Revolt's power completely ruined standard. It's a joke right now. It's all a bunch of Saheeli, Rye, Goat combo, crazy cat lady garbage. I haven't even bothered to look at the deck list for this snake stack or whatever the hell people are calling it, but I've heard it's bad. It's quite unfair. So once again, you got turn 4 or 5 unbeatable decks, or even just turn 15 decks that stop everything with the stupid Flash and Spell Resurrection piece of crap, Torrential Gear Hulk. So the side effects are starting to show, and I think people are going to get pissed and they're going to stop showing up to F&M, which is the last thing they want. They just did all these little tweaks, all these subtle little things, and not so subtle things, to make more money because they want more money. While driving away your customer base and making them stop playing the game and potentially play your competitors' games is not a very good way to make money. So they made a mistake with Aether Revolt, obviously. So all this is the lead up, all this is their strategy. It seems to be make money at any cost, short term over long term, piss off everybody. If we lose in the long term, who cares? Because we're going to continue to be manipulative until the Titanic sinks. Or maybe it's just, the whole we have to show profits every single set, every single quarter, and if we don't, people get fired. My evidence for that is that people just got fired, and it was probably Hasbro's doing, which those people needed to get fired for a different reason, and the people got hired for a different reason, so that's not 100% just it, but, maybe that's what it is. They're just selling out the long term to make money in the short term. Destroy the set, piss everybody off, drive away customers, but look how much they spent, though. That's not smart. So the question of all of this lead up with all they're doing to just unfairly make money and fairly make money, it's a mix. What is Amonkhet going to look like? I mean, let's not even talk about that for a second. The next special set, Arch Enemy, I believe it is. They overprinted Play and Chase Anthology like you wouldn't believe. They made it WPN only, which is a load of crap. And then they made it look limited and special edition. They had the MSRP set on ridiculous. I mean, the ridiculousness was turned up to 11. It never should have cost that much. And then they printed so many, everybody thought they had to grab them because they'd be so limited, and they pulled a fast one on everybody. So Arch Enemy, probably the same thing. I don't think people are going to fall for it twice. So the sales are going to be crap, the distributors are going to get stuck with it, and it's going to be on clearance. If you want it, wait 2 weeks, buy it on eBay. It'll be basically 10% above MSRP. So any special sets, that's pretty much a given. They might even find a way to overprint from the Vault, which is their last, like, truly limited set. I think Modern Masters 3 is going to be pretty nuts. They're going to overprint the hell out of that, which is nice because I actually want it, and I think the price of Modern should go down. So, like I said, it's not all bad. I mean, there is some positives in what they're doing. But at the end of the day, they're greedy and they want money and they're willing to do anything to get it, and that's generally not good. So back to Amonkhet, because Standard is their main product. Just ask them, they'll tell you that a million times. There are really two options, and we're talking Amonkhet, Hour of Devastation, potentially Atlazan, and Conquest of Power. They really only have two options of where to go from Standard right now. They could print Amonkhet just as powerful as Standard is right now, sell packs, and people will have double the options, theoretically, for horribly broken, overpowered decks. And then they could continue to keep the power level exactly at this. They could basically turn Standard into Modern, where everything is an immediate threat, everything wins potentially by turn 5, and you better be running Control. Now, if you think about it, it sounds bad, because I don't like that. I like, slow, steady, highly various Magic with a variety of different decks. If you have 2 or 3 decks dominate, anything else won't beat them. They won't even come close. I mean, you'll have nothing on the field by the time your life total's at 0. So it'll box you in. You'll have to build a net deck, basically, which I think is a load of crap. But other people are saying, well, I mean, the rounds are going faster. Like, it's just a shootout, and we're talking 15-minute rounds instead of 50-minute rounds. Well, to which I say, people just need to play faster. I mean, if you're going to the time limit, it's because somebody didn't play fast enough. That's true the majority of the time, I would say. So it would fundamentally change the style of Magic. Any kind of sealed event would be a joke, because whoever pulls the best pool or the best bombs, they would have an unnatural advantage. But that's the side effect of printing OP cards. So let's just say they maintain this crazy high power level. It would shake up Modern. That would be a positive. The rounds would go faster. That would be a positive. Nobody likes 50 minutes and then people go more than 10 over, and then the whole LGS stays open past close. But like I said, the side effect would be just 2 or 3 decks would dominate, they'd be unstoppable, and you either play one or you lose. No room for creativity, no room for deck building. The power has been cranked up to over 9,000, that's it. Nobody wants to play that. If they wanted to play that, they would play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that is literally Yu-Gi-Oh! The same with Pokemon, net deck or lose basically. Unless your whole entire play group is very non-competitive, then it actually becomes fun. You actually have options at that point. Now, the other option, which from what I've heard from people who've been playing a lot longer than me, is Wizards purposely resets the power level and prints 2 or more sets that are just complete garbage. Like, people are like, oh, that's a neat new mechanic. Oh, cool, the storyline's rich and awesome. Look at the artwork. But the cards are unplayable. They do not beat what's already in Standard. If they do that to Amonkhet, they are going to see, oh my god, what would it even be? 50% drop in sales? 75%? Like, it wouldn't be 5%. And it's not like, oh, they lost 50% of their players. It's just, no, people don't want the cards at all. That's the end of it. The cards aren't good. Nobody can play with it. Kind of like Journey into Nyx and Born of the Gods. The cards, the mechanics on a whole are just not good enough, and nobody touches them and they sell like crap. That would be pretty bad. I think Hasbro would have a problem with that. Now, unless they've carefully explained to them, hey, we go up, we go down, and when we go down, it causes slow sales. Don't worry, Atlazan will be incredibly powerful. We tend to sell every other block. That's just how Magic works to avoid power creep. Back in reality, because that's a fantasy, I don't think that they understand that. I think they understand gross sales. That's it. The end. Like, there's nothing past that. I think Magic the Gathering is like 4% of Hasbro's income or something like that. So, yeah, I don't think they look that close into the intricacies of it other than, hey, what was your sales this quarter? Hey, look, it's lower. You're all fired. So do I think they will, quote, reset the power level? No, I don't. I don't think they will purposely print a weaker set that can't compete. and then have people just ignore it. I just don't see them doing that at this point. It's what they've tended to do over the last 20 plus years, but I don't see them doing it now based on their recent actions. So what do you think? Are they going to drop the power when Amonkhet comes out? Or are they going to just keep the foot on the gas pedal and make faster, more powerful, less various magic? I would normally say that they're going to keep the power level up just to keep selling cards indefinitely. They're going to make it the maximum possible power level, and every time they slip up, they're going to ban something, which will be, real popular among their customers. But there is one counter argument. What we know about Amonkhet, I'm not going to get way into it, but basically there's an extremely high likelihood that it's going to be pushing single colors. They've said there's 5 gods, there's 5 overall strategies, there's probably going to be 5 mechanics, so it's going to be kind of like a guild thing. And it just sounds like they're going to be pushing mono. Well, mono can't compete with 3 color, especially, the America decks that are being played right now. No, I will not call it Jeskai. It has nothing to do with Jeskai. That set already cycled out. I don't know if anybody told MTG Goldfish and Star City that. But the American flag colors haven't actually cycled out. Yeah, those are still up to date and current, last I checked. So I think Amonkhet will be cool, and it will very closely resemble Theros, but I think they might actually try to power it down a little bit, because like I said, mono decks, they can't really compete. Their other option is to do what they usually do, which is just put in some mechanics that kill the set before it. So overall the decks are weaker, but they can beat, artifacts or large creatures or combos. It'd be, nothing but combo disruption, maybe some graveyard clearing, and multicolored land destruction. That would force mono to be a thing. So, in my best estimation, Amonkhet will have so many cards, not even cards, probably literally a mechanic that blows up multicolored lands, forcing you to play mono, and then all the good cards will be mono, and another mechanic will be mono heavy. That's my best estimate. So that would kind of be best of both worlds, because you'd have to buy it, but it would also be a power down. That would be the ideal outcome, so I'm going to hope that that's what they're doing, even though I know better. But what do you guys think? That's the third theory, so which one do you subscribe to? I'm curious, or does anybody have any insider information, any additional evidence I passed up? Leave it down in the comment section, and I'll see you guys next video, when I damn well better be over this flu.